order for you to get to where you want to go, you have to be willing to do the things you haven't been willing to do. I know this is a simple equation, but it is the equation. Most people stand at the bank of the river and they see the river and they know what's at the other side and they're not willing to step into the water. You have to step into the water. You have to be willing to get wet. You have to be willing to cross it and figure out what's going on in that river to get to the other side. You are never going to get what you want if you aren't willing to move, to at least step a little bit forward. No one cares how fast you cross the river. No one cares if you perfectly cross the river. But there's also one big thing. You can't expect to not get wet if you're going to cross a river. You're gonna get wet. It's gonna be a bit slippery. You're gonna probably fall. You might get drenched, but you're going to cross the river. And how does this translate outside of the analogy? You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail on your journey. That's to be expected. Forget the perfection mindset that's only gonna keep you at the first bank of the river, not be willing to cross. And you're going to have to try, right? Trying and failing is proof that you're willing to cross the river. It's proof that you're in the river. And there is no guarantee that you will start a journey and you won't fail. Forget that mindset completely. It is about, I'm going to fail on this journey. Things are not going to go well. Things are not going to go perfectly. But yet I understand that getting to the other side of the river is super important to me. You are going to do things wrong. Why? Because remember, you're doing things for the first time, or you're doing things that you're not necessarily good at, or you're doing things that you're completely new at. You can't hold the expectation that you're supposed to be a superhero at everything. That's not how it works. Every single thing you have learned to do in your life has started at some point where you didn't know how to do it. You were a beginner. But as life went on, we create all these stories of how we have to be a perfectionist or how we have to be great at everything. Forget that. You gotta dump that completely and just go, I'm a beginner, I'm crossing this river for the first time, and I'm willing to figure out what it actually takes to make it all the way across. That's how you get things done. That's how you grow. That's how you achieve things. That's how you knock down your goals, right? Is by willing to get into the water, by willing to get wet, by willing to figure out what is going on with this whole entire river situation, and just have the persistence and the determination to work through the things that don't go right, to work through the failures. That's it. Anybody who's doing anything in this world has failed a million times. The most famous people in the world have failed a million times. They haven't done it right. So don't hold the expectation for yourself that you're gonna get it right, or that if you are doing it and something's not going well, that you are doing something wrong. No, it's part of the process. Part of the process. Crossing a river, part of the process is getting wet. So you have to be willing to do that. And when you're standing at that first embankment of the river, another thing that comes up is you might be telling yourself all of these stories about what it's like to be in the river. Don't tell yourself a story about what it's like to be in the river. Just get in the water and figure it out. If you're telling yourself it might be this way or it might be that way, or what if this is not reality. You are constructing reality of what it might be like to be in the water. But getting in the water might be completely different than what you are thinking it may be, okay? So, don't tell yourself stories. Be willing to fail because it shows that you're in the water and trying, and dump all your expectations of how it needs to be. This is your journey only, and that is all that counts, okay? That's all that counts.